All right. So last we left off our adventures, we were on the brink of a fight in the middle of the rock gardens near Kinrun, coming into contact with some ambushes that seem to have a very shifty sense to them. As you kept fighting them, but one of the creatures they held that they brought into the fight was a Kamadan, a leopard-like creature with snakes growing out of its neck, a monstrosity of sorts. Taking a big wound, Vargir did go down, but you managed to overcome it and beat off the ambushers, who left no trace to... what's that look for?
You said beat off.
Ah, right. Love it.
We are children.
It's not what you should do to dead bodies. So, after investigating the body of Dr. Artuno, realizing that he had been, well, by best guess, assassinated from another target, finding upon his body a couple of letters and maps pointing that the Jorosko Foundation is after some sort of mummy and artifact in and around Kinrun. After putting the clues together and finally getting to the camp, it seems like there is a bit of camp of two halves, basically. You have one which is the staff and the volunteers of Jorosko Foundation, many of which seem to be out of clues of the politics and stuff going on within the house. They're just here to help. And the other half is occupied by soldiers, led by Captain Lafons. But these soldiers, with their orcish looks and feels and bodies, seems something is just not quite right with them. Investigating into them, you all went to sleep just outside the staff tents. And I guess we will pick up in the morning when everyone starts to awake. So what would you like to do?
I just have a quick question for the DM.
Go for it.
Anhani Selva, she greeted us at the war camp. Was she part of the volunteers, or was she part of the...
So, Anahi,
Anahi, sorry.
yeah, she greeted you, and she was the one that went and notified Dr. Gomez, who you met in the tavern, that you were here. She looked like she was a volunteer, but of some status. She looked like she, almost like head maiden or matron, sorry, of the hostels, but you haven't seen her since then. And the interaction she had with the orcs was very off-putting. She was not happy that they were guarding the gate or even questioning people coming in, but you have not seen her since.
Yeah.
So I imagine you're all within your own tents, maybe sharing or so, bedrolls and stuff, but as you come up, the sun isn't quite hitting the camp as of yet, because the rock pillars kind of cut out the light, but you can tell that the day is starting.
We no, you go.
It's not important. No, you go.
Should we get over and maybe see what the movements are over at the camp, the orc camp? I say to anyone who has emerged from
Paying
their
attention.
tent.
It's a slow morning. There was a big
suppose
fight
we-
yesterday.
I was thinking perhaps we should go to the mess hall, get some food. There'll probably be some soldiers there. Maybe we can overhear what time they are making a move. Should we wake the other people up as well?
Sounds good to me.
Oh,
Vargo will still be kind of like
my goodness.
discreetly watching Ghost, but aside from...
Of course.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe we find out a little bit more information about, as Hera said, when they send off, and go from there.
Idea.
Alrighty.
Although I want to make sure that the sergeant himself doesn't slip away before we get notice.
So we're not planning on tailing them, are we? We're just going to see when they leave and the direction.
I mean, if they're heading in the same direction, probably wouldn't do us too much harm to follow the tracks for a while.
We were thinking about seeing the out of the battle, right?
That is what we came here to do.
All right. You do notice outside the mess hall there are a couple of orc bodies just leaning up against there, like having their fruits and stuff like that. But it seems that there are more inside as well. And you're not that far away from it as well. The mess hall is like literally, 20, 30 meters
We were
that
camping
way.
out. Yeah. We
100
were
feet,
camping out
yeah.
here,
Yes,
right?
correct. Yeah.
I guess I'll kind of nonchalantly just walk into the mess hall.
Sure. If anyone else is following, they're more than welcome to.
Yep.
But you get quite a few looks from the orcs as you're walking up. They kind of give you the up and down as they stand there eating their breakfast just in their hands. They don't have any plates or cutlery or anything. And you walk up to the mess hall and open up the doors, and there is almost a little bit of a ruckus in there. It is filled with maybe, your best guess would be 20 to 30 of these orcs. Leathers on, not like battle ready strapped, like they're not holding their weapons, but you see a couple of daggers and short swords like in their holsters, and they are making a mess. They are grabbing stuff off food. It's kind of that same buffet style down the middle central table, and you can see that what is his name? Sergio.
Sergio?
Yep, you can see Sergio is kind of trying his best to kind of just keep everything in order, but you can tell that he's not putting in the effort to clean it up as it goes because he knows it'll just get worse as it comes. There is no nurses in here though. It's just all orcs.
As I walk to the bar,
Yeah.
I'll pick up a couple of like glasses and plates on the table and bring them over to the bar.
As you do, one turns around and puts another plate on your stack as you're walking past.
Yeah, I'll just take it.
Sure. Get to Sergio. Good morning. Thank you for that. I'm assuming you're handing them to him.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Put some back. It's a free choice for all. Buffet style as we usually do. I saw you were here last night, but yeah, feel free to have whatever's still available. He looks past you. These lots should be out any minute there. They try and get going before it gets too hot.
Oh, do they usually leave on the same time?
They're not really ones for keeping punctual, but yes, they try and go before the sun gets too high in the sky.
Nice. Well, yeah, I mean, maybe some plates for me and my friends.
Of course, it like almost like realizes that he's made a mistake by not handing you the plates, and he goes around and grabs you some clean ones and counts the rest of the people that have come in and hands you the correct number of plates.
Appreciate it. As I'll hand them out to everyone.
Sure.
I'm gonna go get some food and try and I'm just gonna be dropping eaves everywhere, listening to what they're saying if they're saying much.
Sure. Give me a perception check.
16 plus perception, modified 20.
Modified 20. Nice. At first, it's a bit. First of all, do you speak Orcish?
I don't.
Cool.
Just common.
Yep,
And
that's
halfling and stuff.
that's fine. A lot of it is in Orcish, and you miss it, and because there's so much noise, it's kind of like you start listening to a conversation, and you're like, wait, hold on, I'm not actually understanding any of that. But the bits you do pick up are along the lines of kind of like the worker's grunt before the day. Like, oh, here we go again. Heading out there. What does pique your interest though is they talk about a slab of rock. Something about we're gonna go give it another try. Give the slab another try. We're close. Hopefully there are no attacks again. We really need to pull through. We really need to prove ourselves. Once we get through, we'll impress the captain.
Are there any walking wounded among them?
Give me a medicine roll.
I think I'm particularly good at that. Yeah, that'll be pretty bad. There's a 6. I'm really just like, someone like got bandages and stuff all over them.
Couple of cuts, couple of well, I wouldn't say bandages, but like someone's like maybe tied their leathers around their arm and given them like where it wouldn't normally go. But that could be for support. That you might not know the extremity of their wound kind of thing. But they look a bit rough.
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, I want to like, you go.
No, I was just gonna see if I could tail off that if I can follow along with some of that information.
Sure.
Of like if there's someone that looks kind of a little bit more worse for wear, or the most worse for wear out of the lot.
Yeah, you can give me a medicine roll as well.
Okay, sure. As I roll a puck, please. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna look for someone who's injured, and I'm going to like try and clumsily bump into the injury kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm trying to basically hurt them, not badly, not to actually physically hurt them, but like to get them to react to it and they go, "Oh, sorry. Oh, what happened to your arm?" That kind of thing is the idea.
Sure. What was your roll, Vargia?
14.
14. Kind of the same information. There definitely are people that have patched themselves up. It doesn't look like they've had much attention here. There are no clean bandages or anything like that, but there are some that are limping a little bit, and they're probably a bit too proud to get it fixed, kind of thing. And then you see Puck kind of spot one of them that's limping a bit on his left leg, and goes in and shoulders him in the hip. And this orc spins around and locks eyes with you, Puck. And he's just like, "Watch where you're going."
I'm sorry. It's I think some of your compatriots don't look for us smaller folk here.
No, why should we?
What happened to you? What's wrong with your leg?
He looks down and kind of like you see him straighten himself up straight away. He goes, "It's nothing. Just a hard days out on the field. You know how it is." See, he gets quite clammed up about it.
Yeah. Hard day on the field. It looked a little more than that.
It'll heal within time. There's good folk here that can heal us. That's the purpose of the camp. This, he says, almost seems a little bit rehearsed.
Sure.
As I kind of tailing this conversation, I would touch him on the shoulder and be like, "There's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, no point going out on a hard day's work." And as I'll give him like 2 lays of hands to like kind of push it to the injury.
Sure. He flinches straight away as soon as you grab his shoulder, and then when he turns around to you, you match him in size, if not a little bit taller, and you see he kind of quickly reassesses. Give me an insight check as you cast the Lay on Hands.
Sure. Yeah. That's good. That's an 18 plus 1, 19.
19. Maybe it's a bit early in the morning, but did his eyebrows turn a shade of brown that your fur is for a second? You're not sure.
Okay. I spot that though.
You do.
Okay. Cool.
Well, yeah. I don't need the help, but anyway, he kind of grumbles and turns back to his food. He turns away from you.
I'll look up at Vargia. Yep.
Maybe let's go eat some food.
Yeah, not a friendly bunch.
They're doing their job.
Come back over.
There is a table off to the side that you can kind of acquire everyone at, but you do see that some of them are starting to like finish up and put their plates on, but you still have time to sit and eat.
Sure.
If you so wish to do
I'm gonna wait to talk to Puck about anything until like we're kind of out of earshot.
Uh-huh.
Or wait, do I? Who else speaks Goblin? It was someone else that speaks Goblin.
I believe it's Molokov.
Ah, Molokov. Okay. Okay. I'll wait then to talk to Puck about it until at earshot.
All good. I'm heading back to the table to eat.
All right. The whole party going to one table.
Sure. Then as if Molokov's there, still in a whisper, but in Goblin I'll speak to Molokov and I'll say, I saw one of them change slightly in the ways we've possibly seen before.
Change into what? What sort of change?
Took a shade of my fur onto his own.
I was afraid of this and seeing more of these. I don't like the idea of something that can copy us.
I agree, but keep in mind they're still just living their lives. We need to not take that as a hostile thing, but I know that it might be a problem.
So was that in Goblin or is that in
Goblin?
Yeah. Okay.
Goblin.
Yeah.
And I was about to say, I think we should tell the others.
Oh, I agree. As I check around, are we kind of like, if we whisper, we're kind of clear?
Yeah, and even if you like lean forward and just talked in a normal table manner voice, there's plates clattering. It's no one's walking right beside you. You've kind of moved yourself off to the side, and now you start to see a couple of the volunteers start to come in, and they're avoiding the commotion, but they'll grab a little piece of food and try and get onto an outer table as well.
Yeah. Then I think me and Molokov, not speaking for Molokov, but we'll probably express that information to the rest of the party as well.
Okay.
So what is
Even more reason to tail them, right?
Are you saying that they're not orcs?
I don't want to make any exaggerations, but
well,
I think there's something more than we see them to be.
perhaps they're similar to the gnolls in that they are gnolls, but perhaps just not all the time. What is the rumors happening at the moment?
There was those other goblinoid type creatures, the ones that ambushed us when our churro was taken. Ones that took the faces of other things that were standing in front of them.
Yes.
One took mine. Yeah.
Well, if they're mimicking Vorgir, then stand right in front of them, right?
I would use mimicking lightly. Something changed that was close to mine, but it wasn't like
Fucking...
changing face or...
Oh, we don't have enough details, do we? That's getting on my nerves.
If I would have noticed this, Reese, or if there's enough of them still around.
Yeah.
But just on my general what I would have seen so far, has there been almost any? At least I'd like to be on the lookout of repeated faces. Faces that
Give
if
me...
they're copying.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask for, I think, a insight check at disadvantage.
Yeah, cool.
For this one.
Not great. 7.
With some of them have leather helmets on, some of them have, if I flashed in front of you 70 Skyrim orcs, would you be able to tell the difference between, were there any repeat ones? It's a bit hard to tell. They all share similar features for sure.
Yeah.
But you almost catch yourself thinking it's a possibility, but how would I tell? What kind of level are you going to look for? It's like a scar on the left cheek, kind of, that kind of thing.
How do I know it's not the guy I saw earlier?
Correct.
Anyway,
Yeah.
No. Worth a shot.
No, for sure. Seems a bit of a far-fetched idea at the moment.
When I bumped into him, he felt like he was like what I touched was what was there, right? It wasn't an illusion.
Oh no, for sure. He was a full, you felt
cool.
the muscle kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just like it's not like some kind of weird like he looks furry, but he's actually didn't feel it or whatever.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. No, like full. Yeah,
Cool.
When I used to take magic on the group that walked past yesterday, 2 weeks ago, with Sergeant LaFons. It was just the sergeant that painted magical essences. It wasn't all of the orcs in that group.
Well, I think you also specifically asked for illusion and were told no as well.
you're correct. It
Yeah.
is not. There is no magic around them.
Yeah.
In the way of spells.
Yeah. Understood. So they are, but they might not be orcs.
Reese, just sorry, just in context of like what I messaged you about before.
Yep.
When I was with Dre in the camp,
Yes.
did I notice any like specific like emblem that they kept involving rather than the Emerald Claw, like anything else?
I don't think so. Not
Okay.
within the camp they had. It was very basic, very what's it called? Nomadic.
Nothing of like synergy compared to the other
Correct.
other changelings we've met.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But when you're all done stuffing your faces, I might just go outside and see if they're walking off.
You don't mind? I wouldn't mind joining you.
Yeah,
Unless you
no
have
problem.
any other intentions.
Why don't we go to our tents and just see which direction they walk off in?
Sounds good.
That's
I'm
Vargeir
finished.
and Ghost, or is everyone going to go back to the tents and kind of keep an eye on this?
I think keep as a group.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, head back and probably start
Imagine
packing
we're all
up
finishing up
tents
now.
and stuff.
Yeah.
As we walk out though, I want to quickly grab Ghost and Molokov.
Sure. Vargeir
Wait.
and Hera kind of start heading out, and you do see the orcs are kind of like that. You see they're going back to their camps and they're getting their spears, they're getting their packs and stuff, and it looks like they're about to head off. But Puck, Molokov, and Ghost.
That tower, is that a thing you could look at fixing?
Sort of look over it at a ghost and I mean, I think we're pretty good, but geez, that
No.
thing looks pretty far gone too. We could certainly take a look at it.
It doesn't exactly look mechanical either. It looks much more like a power source with a very strong enchantment running through it. Might be more of a arista department.
I'm going to say, for the sake of this conversation, Hera, you might catch the whiff.
I was
of
going to
this
say because
conversation.
Hera had a look at it.
Yeah.
What was the question, sorry?
Can
The
you get
tower
the
you
tower
went
working?
into. The tower you went into when you were watching me sneak about.
Yes.
Is that a thing that we can fix? I think it's pretty obvious to us all that it's stopping at the same time as the orcs arriving is not much of a coincidence. Is this something we can look at fixing?
Well, it looked like it definitely required a lot of arcane power. Molokov, did you have in your little knapsack there? Did you have any of those crystals that were powering?
I was just thinking this.
The
Yes.
the big. It looked like that was what we needed, but I don't know how it actually works as such.
Right. Because you have one of these, remember? I gave you one. I have two. Oop.
Just a shard, though. Yes, or was it
yeah.
quite a large crystal?
It's like
Yeah,
It's like
you
a
got
big
you got a
pen.
shard.
with like half an inch diameter, right?
Oh, you mean we need like big piece, like
It looked like yes. Whatever was there was smashed and destroyed. It requires quite a lot of power. This is This would only be a small amount of arcane energy, but to power that entire tower, we'd need like a crystal, you know.
And
Well,
that's,
actually, I might be able to help with that.
You can grow my crystal?
Well, not exactly. However, I'm particularly talented at putting broken things back together. It won't fix the enchantment, but it'll at least get everything in one piece. Maybe then if we kickstart these things, we can actually get something working.
this sounds like
Maybe
plan
if
to
we
lay.
use all three of them. I mean, I don't want to take away your crystals, but
No, this sounds much cooler.
All right, so
shall
we're not going to be able to achieve
go
that while the orcs are here. So, what do you think, Puck? If we get the
Just a
tower up and running, and let our good doctor know before the orcs get back in the day.
It's just an option. We don't have to. I mean, it's not necessarily our job to do, but it seems these people could use some help.
More concerned about the fact that Sergeant LaFons didn't want anyone to get a message out by the looks of it.
Whatever it is, I think it's related to whatever they're trying to find out there.
What do you want to do first?
I overheard
Find out
them
what they're
talking.
finding out.
Well, they said that they were getting close, trying to lift a seal or damn it, I've closed the tab. I can't remember what I wrote down.
A seal or a
A
slab.
slab, yeah. They talked about a slab and giving it another try and hoping not to be attacked. That's all I could gather. I mean, the bits they
sounds
spoke in
like
common.
some sort of doorway back.
Huh. That's actually interesting.
Anyway, we should see if they're heading off. But yeah, if we hang around and after they've left, we could give it a go. Or if we're going to try and follow them the whole way, then we should stick together.
Agreed.
So, primary goal is to go and visit the scout site. The job we came here to do, right? Everything else comes second.
I think so.
Alright. I need to get a few things ready then.
All right. So
We'll go back to the tents.
Sure.
And I'm gonna spend 10 minutes while we're there keeping an eye out, but also getting the spell components ready for the day. So
Yep. Rechoose your spells and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. As you go back to your camp and start packing it down, you don't fully pack down your camp as such if you're planning on coming back here for the night, but you can take enough that if you find yourselves out for the night, you do have bedrolls and such. As you do this, you see that in small groups of maybe 5 to 10, the orcs kind of all, they're not so much in a huddle, but they're kind of talking in a group, and then you see them start to go off, and they all do kind of go in the same direction from the camp. That would be northwest.
Sure. Before they shoot off, is there one like straggling slightly behind, or just like, or are they kind of always in a clump?
They're going off in groups.
Yeah.
And so they'll kind of get together and then leave, and then the next kind of group will get together and leave. But as it starts to dwindle and the numbers start to go quite far down, there's maybe 5 or 6 left. And yeah, sure, there's one maybe around the other side of one of the buildings, just kind of repacking his bag.
If I could approach him.
Sure.
And I would like to kind of approach him, and I'll just straight up say, may I ask, where are you guys heading?
Again, he seems startled by you. Turns around and goes, "What business is it to you?"
Want to make sure you're safe.
Safe. I can take care of myself, thank you very much. Who are you to
enough.
keep me safe? He kind of gives you like a look up and down.
With the hostility, I'll kind of like hold out my hand for a handshake, and I just want to. I'll just say, Delcare guide you, brother, and just hold out the hand.
He gives you a look, and you can give me an insight roll, please.
16.
16.
15 plus 1.
You see him, he recognizes the word Delcare. And as he reaches out and he gives your hand like a one shake, takes a moment. And it seems like a moment of he's trying to recognize if he recognizes you.
Sure.
Puts his hand down, grabs his bag, chucks it over his shoulder, and he's about to turn around.
If that's the case, if he's kind of like looking up and down, I would even kind of like show him a bit of that, like my hand.
So your hand's currently bandaged up. Yes.
Yeah. But like, even if like, just like, you know, as he holds it, like something the bandage, like part of the bandage slips off, or.
Okay. Give me a sleight of hand check to try and do this.
Sure. That's a 16 minus 1, so 15.
Yeah, you kind of just give like almost like you've prepared it a bit, and you reach your arm out and let one of the bandages just slip a bit. He looks down and looks straight back to your eyes and gives you a nod.
I'll nod back at him.
Chucks his bag on and joins the group who have already started to leave.
Sure. And I'll kind of put the bandage back on and head back to the group.
All right. At this point, most of the orcs have left now. There's one or two sitting outside the soldiers' camp. Looks like they are there to keep guard. But you have not seen Captain Lafons all morning. And Varga, you reapproach the group.
As I approach the group, please don't ask me how.
Can I ask you why?
They're what, sorry?
Changelings. Shapeshifters.
Huh.
The captain as well?
I can't confirm that quite yet, but I can tell you pretty confidently, from my knowledge, yeah.
Why does the Emerald Hand seem to be so involved with shifters?
Some kind of...
From my knowledge, talking with Dre in his camp about it, redemption, to revive their people to the greatness of the evil it was cast from. So whoever this Emerald Enclave Claw is, I would suspect that they're looking to find their place in this world.
Typical revolution package, right? Get the poor folks and those who are suffering angry about something, get in to fight the rich folks, and get your true intentions done behind closed doors.
I don't blame them with the way they've been treated.
Neither do I. That would mean that there's dark things going on in the background. I've seen enough noble men shake hands, cross their words in the same meeting to know that that shit doesn't, what's the word? Nothing's ever as it seems. We know that already. So, does that interest you more? Do you want to follow him? I feel like we've been talking a lot about doing something and haven't really decided what we're going to do.
I think that I still think we should go and try and get to the battle site. That's what we were hired for.
I agree.
Anything, it'll give us perhaps more clues and information.
I wouldn't be surprised if we run across them on our way there. And that they'll be hostile towards us if we do.
Yeah, we will probably need to keep an eye out, but keep out distance, I think. I don't even know what tracks to follow. Are they going to be orcs when we get there? Who fucking knows?
We've got our little map. That should be enough to get us there. But
Let's just keep in mind, if we're aware that they're shifters, the tracks might not look the same that we expect. They might not even have tracks. We've dealt with flying ones before. Let's just keep that in mind.
Can I also propose float the idea of the fact that they are shifters, and therefore we have seen them take our faces before. I feel like we need some way to I don't know, identify ourselves.
Puck's gonna pull out a dagger and just gonna carve a triangle in the back of his hand, and then gonna hand the knife over to you.
Oh, we're choosing a different
point of
shape for each
damage.
person.
Fuck me, it's 9 a.m.
That's brilliant.
Bagger,
I was thinking like safe word or like, you know.
Yeah,
Bargain,
the
they
safe word
wouldn't-
could be triangle.
Bagger then would also look to the rest of the group and say, look, only you guys are gonna know this. And as I start to unbandage my arm, you'll notice that like the fur is very dead and patchy, and the muscle is kind of a bit veiny and feral, and the claws have grown, and it looks a bit more animalistic than his other hand. As he shows you it. Remember when I was bitten by that jackal?
Ooh, that doesn't look good.
They have nurses here.
I'm aware, and I was meant to see one of them this morning, but it looks like we have more pressing matters to deal with, so I'll tend to it later, but for now it's okay.
You
But
should have said something about that sooner.
if you come across anyone that you think is not me, they won't know that this is a part of me.
And
So I'll
you know
rebandage it back up.
that's how these shifters work. They cannot copy what they do not know.
I'm hoping. So far, I don't know.
Good idea.
Also,
We've
they
seen
won't have
before as
Obak.
well, but that when they've tried to copy Envy.
They couldn't do it.
Well, I suppose I'm all right then.
True.
If his arm's not metal, he's not me.
That's a
We
brilliant
might have
theory.
to ask them to take off a sleeve then.
Have you
Oh,
ever
that's
seen
alright.
me wear a sleeve?
I've seen you hide it.
Only under a cloak.
Okay. We won't trust you if you're wearing a cloak then.
Hair a ghost.
No, I'm going to wear the cloak. Oh, fuck.
I'm well aware you have similar talents to what I do. Maybe mimic this the way you do it. I'll pull a brand out. Looks like a hot iron, kind of used for stamping into hot steel. I'll place it over the back of my my gloved hand and pull out a hammer and kind of awkwardly try and hand it to Puck. Can you give this a tap for me? Hold the brand in place.
I'm gonna hold the brand instead.
Oh yeah,
You
that'll do.
You can hit it as hard as you want.
And I stamp a brand into the back of my own hand. I hold it up to you and I say, touch the back.
Touch it.
And that same triangle appears that you carved into the back of your hand. They don't have
Alright.
this. It's not me. That'll fade in a minute. But
Good to
you
know.
can every time you tap it.
Like-
All right.
Good to know.
Is that
Comes back.
is that if just Puck taps it or any of us?
Any creature.
Cool.
It's just a magical tinkering effect.
Sure.
I don't really have anything.
Hera, you can speak into our minds. That's pretty solid.
Yes,
Good
I
point.
suppose if they're not, but that's only. I suppose will they copy an earring? But they don't know it's a magical earring. I
Even if
suppose
they
it's
copy it,
just-
they won't be able to copy its effect.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yes. If we get
And
split
to
up,
have your
first
companion.
thing I say to you, I will do it in turn.
Copying magical effects. Changelings are so OP in this game.
Okay,
Anyway,
yes.
we're wasting daylight. Should probably
I haven't left yet. He says as they're probably marching out of town.
Yeah, they're
I think they
the-
have already left.
they're on their
the
way.
first
Oh,
rule
fuck
of-
me. What fucking direction are they going? There's nothing else to do. Shit.
First rule of tailing someone is you don't want them to know that you're tailing them.
Yes, we weren't going to leave with them as such.
Oh,
Don't
for
mind
sure,
us,
but which
guys.
way do they go? We
So
follow
what do
their
I do with-
footsteps.
Northwest.
Like that way.
What do I do with
They
this
have
one?
the
As a
coast.
point at Obak. He's not exactly going to be quiet.
They have stables here. No.
No.
Before, like, as we, I guess, as we start to leave, if that's what we're doing, one, are we taking the pets? No. Yes. No.
I mean,
It's up to you guys.
Yes.
I have to be biased. Envy doesn't breathe. She can live in my bag as long as I want.
That's good. It's a start.
Not
It's excellent.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
feel like
Amazingly convenient.
gonna hop-
Obak's the only one that probably should be left. But depends if
I would say, like, Obak was not squeezing through, like, there is a little bit of distance between these rock pillars, but it's getting there. It's probably getting to the width of Obak plus a little bit more. So
Might be a bit risky.
I was going to say speed probably would come into it. Because we're think forest, but it's rocks.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
going
if
to
we're
turn
just
to Obak.
if we're just following in their footsteps, it's fine. And if we lose their tracks, and so be it, we lose it. We go to this site and we do what we need to do, right?
Yep.
Okay, so this
What
is the
about you?
idea.
But I haven't seen the sergeant. I think he's with him. If he is, he's done a good job hiding. That's one of the orcs himself.
I'm going to turn to Obak. I'm going to give a big kiss on his nose and a big nuzzle and say, "Be good. I won't be long."
He'll let out a
Be safe.
fart.
Rightfully so. I don't think I've left Obak, so I don't really want to tie him down because I've never really had to, but because he's always been close. But
Is there a stabling area here?
Not
No.
really. I mean, the horses from the carriages and stuff have been put next to the tents, but it's very makeshift.
I will then, as don't want to waste too much time, I'll pat him on the nose again. Be good, and I won't tie him down, and I will just pray to God that my companion will stay with me.
For sure. What about Swift Scale?
Yeah, I'll give him a nice long rope that if he needed to, he could get out of. He could
Yep.
cut it with like his bite or his claws.
Yep.
Make sure he's got, a big old bucket of water. He'll be right.
All right. So is that everyone prepared? We start making our way out of the camp.
I want
I guess
to-
we just constantly look back at Obak the whole time,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
watching as he leaves.
I'm gonna stop. I might move ahead of everyone just briefly, and then let them catch up to me as I'm like crouched down. I know that their footprints might change, but I'm gonna try and sort of just do a bit of an investigation, kind of memory, sort of stuff on the footprints and what they look like, just in case we start to lose them.
You can give me survival or investigation.
Man, rogues are ridiculous. That's a 22.
22.
Sorry, 21. 21.
21.
Not as ridiculous.
Still very good roll. As much as you can track the footprints straight out of camp, it is well trodden around here. The dirt is a lot looser, but you see that it gets quite dry quite quickly. And so even though you lose them for a little bit, they might come back. But it is quite hard to. It's not mud or anything. It's almost that kind of like sandstone. Surface, and that's quite hard to leave prints in.
For sure. Is it pretty obvious the direction they're heading though?
Yeah, for now, they're looking like they're going northwest, but you can't really see too far that direction.
Yeah, sure. And you said like so it's a bit dusty and things.
Yes.
All right. Be on the lookout ahead. See if you can see if they're kicking up any dust. We don't want to get too close.
Alrighty. So, as you leave camp and leave your mounts behind you, you venture forth once again into the rock gardens, or the rock forest of Kenran. As you're going, you can feel the sun is starting to come up a little bit now, and it starts streaking through these rock pillars. You kind of look up, and they do different height. The one you climbed, Puck, seems to be probably the average medium. There are some a bit higher, there are some lower, there are some even stumps, you could call them, of just rock boulders that are completely flat on the top. But after about maybe an hour's worth of travel, making sure that you're keeping distance, checking around the pillars before you move forward a little bit more, you haven't caught up with any orcs. You hear a bird or two cry out through the pillars, but other than that, it seems kind of eerily quiet. A slight breeze occasionally comes forward, but now you start to hear the almost static sound. It sounds like rushing water. And as you travel maybe another 10 minutes or so, you see that the rocks open up to a passage where there's almost like it goes waterfall, and then it kind of opens up into like a still pool, and then it narrows back again to another waterfall. And this is what you imagine would be the ford.
How big is this ford? Are we looking at like 300 feet or like 3 miles of?
So it's not 3 miles, but probably definitely a couple of hundred feet. A couple of hundred feet. The waterfall dropping into it is coming from above, maybe 60 or so feet up, and then it looks like it drops off again, 60 or so foot down. What you do see is a rope bridge going across this still bit of the water, and at the edge of the bridge is a pair of orcs standing, leaning against the post.
They look like they're like leaning as in like chilling and napping, or like are they leaning and just being lazy?
It looks like they're kind of just chilling. Maybe they're being lazy. It's hard to tell from this distance. You're in the kind of the outcrop. There's probably maybe 40, 50 feet between you and the bridge.
It's just open.
It's just open
ground.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't bring O back.
Is that natural that it's open compared to everywhere else?
It seems like the river has obviously it ebbs and flows, and it's kind of eroded away this area.
Okay.
But I would say actually more than 80, 100 feet away from you, kind of thing. They're definitely out of earshot.
And going round doesn't seem like a fucking option, right?
Well, your options would be to go down around the waterfall or up around the waterfall, and you're not really sure how fast the river is flowing at both ends. You do see at the end of the still, when it starts to narrow again, it does pick up quite a bit of speed, and then that drop is quite significant.
I mean, no harm in just passing by as a group heading back after their job.
Yes. We could
I
just
think
be
they'll-
travelers, you know.
We're
They'll
heading
ask
away
us
from
questions. Exactly. They'll ask us questions, but I mean, we outnumber them.
True.
It's
This is where we want to be.
We walking across then?
Well,
Walk with a purpose and hope they don't bother us.
I'm not certainly assuming.
Darga's just gonna stop walking across the bridge.
I'm gonna check my crossbows loaded
Okay.
oh,
and
fuck.
loosen my rapier and daggers and things, and just sort of make sure, like, I'm gonna be ready if something happens, and then
Yep.
start following him.
All right.
Gonna walk right behind him because I'm little.
Sure. Are you attempting to not be seen by them, or are you just walking right behind them?
I will attempt to not be seen.
Okay, sure. Give
Just
me a stealth roll.
under my cloak.
Yes.
It's one of those things because I'm a halfling. I get
You
something
do.
like
You
that.
automatically get it or something?
No. It's just I can attempt to.
You can. Yeah.
I can attempt to hide obscured by a creature that is at least one size larger than you.
Sure.
That's all.
Go for the roll.
I can
And
stealth this
how
a little bit.
how wide would you say the bridge itself is, DM?
What, like long?
Sorry, long. Yeah,
It's about, what was it? It's 90 feet.
90 feet. Okay.
But at a guess, you'd be like, okay, that's about 3 turns of movement.
Yeah, sure.
It's a 19 on stealth.
19. Yeah, you just blend into his footsteps. As you start approaching them via gear, they kind of almost stand to attention. Pull up their spears. Okay, that's far enough. That's far enough. You're maybe 40 feet from them at the moment.
What's the problem?
No one's passing through here today. Excavation site on the other side of the bridge. It's too dangerous for civilians. Turn back round. You'll find the camp not far from here.
No, we're just heading back from a job that we've been sent down here to do. It's all right. We're just heading back up to what's the
Bathrond.
Bathrond.
No, not Vathron. It was the city, but yeah.
Which one are you telling them?
Do you mean the city we came from?
Yeah.
Alaska.
Staraluska.
Just heading back to Staraluska. Just taking a shortcut. No
Staraluska.
point taking...
This is the fastest route, though.
He notices that there's now more people that have come out from the thing. Yeah, it runs in one straight line. Like,
Yeah.
Hey!
Does it listen arm and like 4 other arms coming out behind him?
this is the dance routine we prepared earlier.
It's all right. If there's any danger, we can take care of ourselves. It's all right.
No, I'm sorry. Staraluska, the other one looks. He said, they're quite far from home. You're quite far from home. What are you doing out these parts?
Well, if we cut through these ways, it makes it, 6 days rather than 12?
I'm not too sure on the travel, but you can't pass. I'm sorry. It's too dangerous.
I'm gonna use my channel divinity for the day
Sure.
to cast an emissary of peace. So I'll get 5 on my persuasion. I'll be like, no worries, we're friends. We're just passing through. It's not an issue.
I'm gonna nudge Gear while I'm sort of behind him. Maybe say we know the sergeant.
We know the sergeant. What the fuck? We know the sergeant. We met him a couple of days ago. We don't have any issues with...
Give me a persuasion roll.
Sure.
And add your +5.
Okay.
We are pro
So
the
that
revolution.
is a 18.
And 18 total.
Yeah, a 10 plus 3 plus 5.
Kind of looks at you like, no, Sergeant. He turns to his compatriot, and you see them kind of like almost whispering to each other. And then, just you, Vargir, you see a little green figure sitting on one of their shoulders and whispers into his ear as Tin makes an appearance. And he goes, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know you're part of the group. Not normal. We get extras after this time of day, but I guess anything to help. Hopefully today's the day we get it out."
We're hoping.
Steps aside. Well, try not to come back dead.
As we
No
walk past
promises.
Oh god, he sees another person.
Aye.
And as we walk past them, I'll just say again, Delcare be with you.
This look is very different from the one you got before.
Interesting.
He kind of looks at you like, what the fuck are you on about?
Great. That's a good catch. I'll just give him a nod.
He still steps aside though. And you're approaching the bridge first. They don't leave their post. They're still watching you pass one by one, like they're allowing one to come through at a time, and they're kind of looking everyone up and down. But this bridge is, by all means of a architect and designer, not well put together at all. You step on it and it creaks straight away. It's almost that whole, it's 2 ropes going down to planks of wood. Planks of wood that way, not that way. So you're kind of like doing that weird fold across it, and the posts, even when you step onto it with our gear, just bend. No danger, but it looks like this thing would not hold much weight if it was put under pressure. You start to walk across it, and you look down at the water, and it's kind of got that kind of beige muddiness to it, but you can see the bottom. So it's probably deep, but manageable. And then you see that the current picks up to the left of you as you're crossing it. The rest of you, are you following across the bridge as well?
I'm staying right behind him.
Sure, one by one. They don't even notice you go and
yeah. I'm sure I'm not trying to hide necessarily. Like they can't possibly be seen, but yeah.
But they are watching each person come through, and they look up and down. Is anyone else interacting with them as you pass by?
As I walk by, I'll say, "I don't get any taller the longer you stare at me, sir."
Kind of looks at you, and what you're saying of I'm not going to get any taller the longer you look at me, you can tell he looks a little bit confused. But he lets it go.
Can I get a beat on whether that's just plain stupidity or something else?
Yeah, I was going to ask for it, but give me an insight roll.
While he's rolling
that's good.
Sorry.
20. Nope. 18.
18. It's not stupidity. It seems like you've said something a bit stupid.
No, that sounds about right.
But as you cross, everyone is now on the bridge, getting off to the other side. There are no orcs on this side. But one by one, you manage to find dry land on the other side.
Oh, they were front posts.
If we have trouble on the way back, we need to cut this after we've crossed.
Sure thing.
Reese, as what you were saying before is the way one of them looked at me, was that like you was that like a state of a confusion of like how does he know, or is that like more, maybe it's too late to ask, or is that more of a confusion of I don't know what you're talking about?
This guy at the bridge?
Yeah.
More of a why are you talking about that?
Why are you talking about
it? Recognition, but also like
why do you keep,
what are you on about, man? Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, let's get things spot.
So yes, ahead of you is more rock gardens. Can I get an investigation check again to see if there's any tracks on the side? But otherwise behind you is this bridge, and you see them both leaning up against the posts again.
That's a natural 20 for a total of investigation 26.
Very nice. There are, again, boot tracks on this side.
It all funnels to this point, so it makes sense.
Yep, but it's like they definitely have crossed here, and you can see where the tracks are leading in that direction, so you could keep on their trail if you so wish.
Does that look like that's going the same? I mean, from what I see of the map, that makes sense, but like...
Correct. It looks like they're heading to this site of battle, as it was described.
Yeah. Keep your wits about you. I don't think the next people we run into will be so affable. They're not going to want us around here, but we'll see.
When we were talking to the guy on the bridge, he was mentioning that he wasn't aware that more of us were coming and that we hoped to reclaim it. So that from what was spoken before, he's like, oh, they're with us.
That's what you
he thinks the sergeant's brought us on as third party contract.
Part of the job sort of thing.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have lived over the bridge, presumably.
No. Yeah.
We won't be able to keep up that life forever. Maybe we just hang back and let them do the hard work with whatever it is they're trying to do.
Yes.
Well, you saw how many orcs are left. If I don't think we'll be able to deal with that number in one hit anyway.
Absolutely not.
Well, and also
we're just here to look around.
Come back injured.
What was that, Molly?
That's right, actually. Something attacks them.
Yeah, the amount of them that come back injured. There's something else out here that is not something we necessarily want to deal with. You know?
That's right.
Be careful.
Perhaps we wait until they are being attacked and then while they are distracted, we get a little bit closer.
Possibly. We'll need to be close enough to know.
That's if what's out here doesn't find us first.
Yes, true. We could all be dead in a minute.
As you say that, Hera, you all feel a rumble, and you hear about a second later.
I really need to stop jinxing us like that.
Definitely sounds in the distance, but that was a bang. And a rumble in the ground. You felt the ground shake a little bit.
Like one impact kind of thing?
Correct.
Okay.
That sound kind of similar to the bomb that I made.
Something along the lines of what you're
Do-
hoping that the soap will do one day.
Yeah, and then I've done with a bunch of TNT and barbed wire.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
sound like Big Mo taking a step.
A mix of all of those thoughts.
Okay.
Doesn't smell oddly like sulfur or explosives.
You give a sniff and you can smell the water coming past you.
I think we're a bit far away.
It was a ways off.
Maybe we send someone a little bit ahead to be a bit quiet as I look right at Puck.
I can be quiet sometimes.
Yeah, all right, I'll do it. Here we go.
Thank you, Molotov.
Everyone
but I
takes a
wasn't
step
thinking
forward
about
at the
you.
same time, and it's like, oh. No.
I don't.
Puck will grab his mask and he'll just look behind. Is anyone else coming? I haven't put the mask on, but I've got it. I'm going to start walking.
Just
Hit it.
sneeze and like a whole bunch of metal shakes and
I'll come with you. So at least we can report back to the group.
Yeah, just wait 1 minute and then start walking to follow me, and I'll come back. I don't want to get too far ahead of you.
Okay.
Oh, no, sorry, no, you. Sorry. That was to the group who's not coming with me. Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I
Who's
thought you
not
didn't
going?
want to be right with you.
So what I'm saying is Puck and Hera are going.
Yeah,
And
and I'm
then the
saying
rest
for
are
everyone else, yeah, wait 1 minute and then start following.
Sure. Okay.
Cool.
All right. You head off with Hera. Give me a joint stealth roll, both of you. And the rest of you kind of wait a minute and edge forward into the rock garden.
Now that Sid's just left, I was going to say, while we have a minute.
Oh, sure. Let's get their stealth rolls first.
Yeah.
25.
30.
Nice. You kind of start following in Puck's footsteps, and he generally shows you where to step, and it's not so much more being quite like there's no leaves underfoot or anything, but you kind of just do the peek around the tree first, keep your back up against it, keep in the shadows, that kind of movement.
To clarify, are there trees?
No, they're still the rock pillars.
Okay, cool.
The rock trees.
Yeah, rock trees. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all good. That's all good. I was just like, are there trees? Like, I mean,
But there are a couple of there's loose gravel on the ground, and you avoid that as much as you can. But you carry on for about maybe 15, 20 minutes. It's quite quite a way, and you're assuming the rest are following you. And you do start to pick up the scent, Hera. Definitely a scent that Molotov has played around with before. It does smell like what is known as black powder. There's a slight scent of it on the air. But just as you go to round one of the next pillars, Puck, you see maybe 30, 40 feet in front of you a silhouette of a body that's moving in and out of the pillars.
Yep, I'll hold up a hand to stop Hera.
You stop, both of you, and kind of peer through, and there's interlocking things, but you see a silhouette just kind of looks like it's lost. It's looking around and kind of backtracks a bit, and then goes forward a bit more, and kind of is looking around a little bit lost.
Is it corporeal?
Is it what?
Is it a ghost?
How far away is it from us?
40,
way.
40 feet?
He hasn't noticed us.
Doesn't seem to.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Is it?
You go.
I was just gonna say, can we? I know it's a fair distance away, but is it look armored, or like it's wearing like the uniform the orcs are wearing, or does it just like a robed sort of peasantry clothing? Sort of, is it simple clothes?
Doesn't look like much armor is on it. Again, you're only catching glimpses of like a silhouette. The light's kind of coming in at the wrong angle. But no heavy armor or anything.
What are your thoughts, Buck?
I think we need to get closer. You watch my back. Maybe hold up get ready to blast it if we need to.
Okay, I can blast.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and stealth up and get closer, get a better look at this thing.
Sure. Give me a stealth roll for this.
That's a 6, which is a 15.
Nice. You step forward and stand on a little piece of gravel and then give yourself a nod and sling into the shadows.
Yeah, mask on at this point.
Yep, mask down. You approach this figure and you kind of round the tree, knowing that it's going to go one way, and you kind of round it so you're behind it. And you see a humanoid figure, kind of dark hair. Looks like they're wearing not robes as such, but kind of what do you call them? Just basics. Can't remember the name of it now.
Just common clothes.
Common clothes, yeah. But they seem a bit tattered.
Tunic.
Yeah, like a tunic, tattered, and they look quite injured. They're limping. They kind of lean up against one of the rock pillars and look up and around. You're just looking from behind them.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was going to go on.
No.
I'm going to just watch for a moment, and if they're just like they're like resting, is what it looks like.
It looks like they limped over, and then they're leaning against the pillar, and then
Yeah.
they kind of look around.
Yeah.
A bit
okay.
lost.
Psst.
You give that audibly.
Yep. And I've got my crossbow like ready, but
Sure. My question is are you going to be hiding so they don't see you? Do you just want them to look in that direction?
I'm going to poke. No, I'm going to poke. Yes, actually, for now, for the first bit, I'm going to stay hiding to try and catch a look at the face.
Sure. You go, psst, and you see it straighten up. And then it turns around, and you see the rotting face of what looks like a carcass. Look around, confused, and start limping in your direction.
I'm gonna presumably I still can't see what's the thing is, but hearing the psst,
Yeah.
I'm going to just sort of grab my earring and I'll just be like, Buck, was that you psing? What's going on?
Can you respond to message? I can't remember.
You can.
You can respond to this message.
Something undead. I'm going to lead it back towards you.
You're going to fucking what?
No response.
It's now like on the pillar next to you, Puck.
Yeah.
And it does not know where you are.
Yeah, I'm going to dash
and you
across.
see the eyes are just white. The skin is the pale green. The hair is matted in a spot, and the clothes are tattered on the front. You can see cuts. This is an undead creature.
Can I work out what kind of creature it is?
Like a human.
So, okay,
Yeah.
We said humanoid, and that's a very broad
From
swath
the back,
in
from the
D&D.
back, from the back.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
like if now it's turned around to you, a human, like maybe an elf, sure, but like definitely just a human.
Yeah, cool. All right, I'm gonna dash across. I'm starting to work my way back. I might have to psst a few more times or something.
Okay,
I'm
but
gonna
you're
try and
definitely
work it
calling
back
its
until-
attention.
Yeah, to get back towards where Hera is.
All right. As you do, it turns, and you kind of move it just a little bit faster than for it to see you, but you do start catching its attention, and it is slow. It is dragging its foot. It leans up against some of the pillars and is confused for a second before you psst again, but it starts going towards your direction. By now, Puck comes around the next pillar, and he's next to you.
Yeah, I like ball in like back against the thing, crossbow ready, going, I don't know if it's friendly, but it's definitely dead.
Well, this is just a personal experience, but 9 times out of 10, if it's dead but not actually dead, then it's not friendly. Do we keep throwing it back to the others? Do you want me to see if I can message to Molotov? And
I
it's
don't
just
think
the
we've
one?
stopped
There's
moving
not
either, because I
more?
didn't.
No, you guys would be catching up pretty quickly at this
You'll be
point.
catching up. So I'm going to cut back to the group. As you
Hey.
get back to Hera, you wanted to do something just before you've got a minute or so before you start pursuing them out in the open. What did you want to do? Something, Ghost?
Yeah, so like 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago,
Yeah.
as Puck and Hera work off, and even in the next like minute or two as we start following, just say to Vagia, what was that term you used with that orc? Delkir?
Delkir.
Is that a
Something I
orcish
learned
religion?
from,
Something?
something I learned from Dre back at the camp. A bit of history to it, but in the grand scheme of things, he was the one that made these shifters and lycanthropes, essentially.
Oh shit.
Old,
So is it
I don't know how to describe it, some old king or something, but something a lot more powerful than you and me.
I am gonna go ahead and put two and two together with the bandage and the dead. Are you about to become a fucking shifter? Is that what this is? Is like hang on. Should we be going to the doctor?
I promise you, whatever's going on, I'm coping and it's fine. If it becomes a problem, you'll be the first people I tell. I promise.
I imagine we'd be the first people you'd hit too.
That's true,
I'm like looking at your teeth now, so you have to like grown.
but keep in mind, like, some of these creatures, they're not all bad. We have to remember that. Some of them are good.
Well, don't go building any idols towards some old prolific shapeshifter figure, and I think we'll call it even.
I'm just using the knowledge I can to get us closer to what we need to find out.
Good knowledge.
So just a lore note, Seb.
Yeah.
The Dalkir are a
Sorry.
group, not a singular.
Sorry, not a singular being, yeah.
But exactly the same as what you said. But the Dalkir are a
The Dalkir.
yeah.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I read that wrong. Yes, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Well, better keep our wits about us. We're getting closer.
I see where I read that wrong. Yep.
All good.
Cool.
All good.
Yeah. As you were. We literally timey-wimey things. I think we catch up.
All right. You pursue after Puck and Hera as we cut back. Hera back. Puck back up against the.
Sorry, can I just do one thing
Yeah,
as
yeah.
we start to lead off? I just want to cast a little bit of a divine sense,
A little bit of one.
focusing on a little bit of a divine for
How
him.
much?
Just
how
a
much,
little divine sense.
how much percentage are you giving me?
Oh, probably about a 15.
Okay, so I can give you this much back.
No, 100%. I'm not
100%.
using the slot for 15%.
No.
But definitely heavily focusing on Ghost.
Yep. What's the radius of it?
60 foot.
60 foot. Okay, that's not actually that far. Then you pick up a celestial nature coming from Ghost.
Sure. So at the tail end of that conversation, looking at Ghost, I will say, I'll tell you my secrets if you tell me yours. We're all friends here. With a little smile, but like little suspicious eyes.
As we cut back to Hera and Puck as this undead creature is 20 feet coming towards you. You can have your conversation first, though. You've come around the corner.
Yeah, so, yeah, you say saying 9 times out of 10 is bad. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of what I thought. Do we try and take it out quietly?
I suppose we wait for it to get a little closer, and then perhaps we pounce. The others shouldn't be far away anyway, so... Okay,
You might want to stay as far away as possible.
Yes, actually, I might continue to back up. As I sort of gonna, from the direction Puck came from, go like the other direction back and then sort of around the next pillar that's available. And I'm gonna sort of get like a green energy on my hands and sort of grab my chest and my stomach and just sort of pull out in this sort of like ethereal looking version of like a suit of armor, essentially. It'll sort of disappear, and I'll cast Mage Armor. So
nice.
So,
I will. Yeah, a good idea. I'm gonna have the crossbow, the hand crossbow down. I'm gonna step out and let it see me, and if it starts moving towards me aggressively, I'm going to shoot it in the face.
Okay. You see Hera run maybe like 10, 20 feet away from... Not run, but move 10, 20 feet away from you and round one of the pillars, knowing that she's setting herself up, and you kind of make sure your mask is secured properly, crossbow down by your side, and you flick around and take your stance. And this thing that's moving slowly and almost looks lost in itself turns its head towards you and then sprints forward. You whip out your crossbow and take a shot, so go for an attack roll.
Gross.
That is going to be very good. That's a crossbow. That's a 23 to hit.
That'll hit. Go for damage.
That's bad. That's 6 points piercing.
6 points piercing. Nice. This arrow flicks into it, and you see it like limp back and just turn itself round to you, and it keeps coming. Hera, you spin around after hearing the footfalls coming up towards Puck, and as you turn around, you see this thing almost pulling itself forward unnaturally. It's like its head is leading, like it's not running with its body, it's pulling itself forward with its head, and its body is following. Arrow sticking out of it now. Give me an Arcana check as you glimpse this undead creature.
You're muted.
I know. I was waiting for the dice roll. That's going to be plus some. So 16.
16 will hit. Oh, sorry. You're not even rolled to hit. 16 Arcana. 16 Arcana. Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself in my thoughts. So, as this thing is running forward, you've read about undead creatures. You've even seen a body on a table being, brought back to life and then kind of life breathing out of it. But this is unnatural. This is a body that has decomposed. It's a body that has fought battles in a previous life. Even quickly glancing at your historical brain just clicks in that these aren't clothes you find in the markets today. And this thing is running forward with a ferocity of intent to kill. And for some reason, it is both fascinating and frightening at the same time. What would you like to do? It's your action.
What a beautiful creature, but those clothes are last season. I'm going to just tap the end of the wand, and sound vibration sort of comes in around the head, saying that sort almost seems to be what's pulling it. I'm just going to toll the dead, so it's a wisdom save. By the creature.
Wisdom -2. That is a 1.
-2. We love it. So that's going to take 4. 12 necrotic damage.
12 necrotic damage. Running forward, its arms flailing behind it, you summon this energy and focus it in, and you see it kind of like stop, but it doesn't stop and go vertical. It stops with its head forward and just its bones start twisting around, and then it sprints forward again. Anything else you'd like to do as it closes in on Puck?
It is closing in on Puck. I'm going to fuck. I suppose that would be an action to cast message. I'm going to turn around and be like scanning for the rest of them. And on my next turn will probably be, if I still can't see them, sending a message saying this is a fact.
Yeah. This thing rushes forward. It's right on you, Puck, and it is going to slam its hand down. It's going to almost. It reaches forward with its shoulder and lets its arm just follow through for a slam attack, which is a 14. And it just, you skim to the side, and it kind of like pulls itself back up and just screeches in your face. It's your go.
Yeah, Puck just like nothing, but like the saliva splatters or something onto his little mask, and it's just like nothing, no reaction at all. Just calmly draw the rapier and go for a shank.
Yep. Go for attack.
Yep. I rolled an 18 plus a lot plus 7. So 25.
Yep, damage.
Oh, there we go. I rolled a 1 last time and I rolled max on my dice this time. So that is... It's silvered, if that makes any difference. That is 13 points of piercing.
You step to the side, the saliva splats across your mask, and you just look at this thing that should be in the ground, and that is where you're going to put it, and you stab down with your rapier, and its eyes just lose color as this body slumps in front of you. And the rest of the three of you kind of hear the scuffle and come around the rocks to see the sight of a dead body decomposing in front of Puck.
Please don't tell me you just killed an innocent man.
Does it look like it was recently alive?
So I glance down and I see...
You see
Right.
a dead body. Like it's been pulled out of a grave and put through a blender.
Did you do
Puck's-
this, Hera?
Puck's still got his rapier just there.
Yeah,
just-
it's like in it.
Yeah, he's like unsure of like, you know, just like, is it really dead?
As much as that's a fair assumption, it actually was not me this time.
After a moment, I'm just gonna like go get the bolt out of its head. Imagine it's like it's so decomposed. It was kind of mushy where it went in. So
Yeah.
like the bolt is completely undamaged.
Yeah.
Where the bolt went in, can I put 2 fingers in and sort of try and crack a little bit off the skull and peek inside?
Varga's gonna turn around, just like try reach.
Yeah, sure. What are you trying to discern?
A, if it had a brain, or B, if was like a little thing in there,
Oh, like
twiddling with his brain.
yeah, sure. Like any kind of worm creature or something.
Yeah, just the way he was leading with his head made me
Yeah,
think
yeah.
strangely about what was happening with this particular undead. That's not how, in my mind, undead should be.
Sure. Give me a medicine check. As you see here, just the most interested she's been in something, and goes and just cracks open the skull and looks inside. A smell whiffs out.
Oh my god.
You tried living with it.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Ooh. That's going to be a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Filthy 20, even.
By all means, inside, you've studied bodies before. You've studied dead bodies before. You've studied recently dead bodies before. This confirms your theories. This is old. This is a body that has been in the ground for years. You might say decades. The skull breaks away with ease, and the brain is there, but it's not a brain. It's kind of mush and mold and decomposing. you do get a sense of like nothing mechanical, but you do get a sense that something has something controlled it. You know, and that there is no remnants of that left now. It is almost, the bones are even starting to just blow away in the wind almost. It's not disintegrating, but it's
it's now that it's
very
not
fragile.
animated,
Yeah.
it's returning almost to its. Because I'm almost thinking it took a bolt, it took a it took the saber and died, but it took the saber, and now it's soft bone and very interesting.
Your morbid fascination with death never ceases to provide me with entertainment.
I like to imagine she's scratching her chin with like a bit of skull and stuff, like just
starts purring.
My understanding of undead is if there's one, that you're likely to encounter more.
Shit.
Well, we've already been told that
Something
this
attacks
kind
them.
of thing's already been around here.
what
Those
does
stories are not
your
true.
tingle about these things say, Vardagir? Can't you like smell this shit out?
I don't know, maybe if it was alive. I'll go have a look as I'll kind of like walk into the like area where I'm sure like we've been pointed out. Like,
Sure.
Oh, I ain't letting him go alone.
Yeah, I definitely won't let her get too far.
and as I'll get like kind of around, I guess, where not Varga knowing, but Seb knowing, but around about where Puck was.
Yep.
And then I once again kind of like touch the ground, grab some of the sand, put it through my hands as my eyes go back into my head, and again I'll divine sense.
You grab the dirt in your hand, and you don't get the sense within 60 feet of you, but you feel Tin give off the sense of there is death here that is no longer dead. And it's a sense of undead. But then it comes almost in a bit of a wave. You get a real bad feeling. And the sense you get from it is like there is a presence of undead, like you might have grabbed some soil that it stood on. But almost as a channel through it, you sense something more sincere. Or more sinister. Sinister.
Yeah.
I was like, sincere, huh? Good. Yeah, as that wave hits me, it will kind of shake me out of it, and I'll like look to the closest who's behind me.
I think Ghost said he would. Malcolm following you.
Sure. Yeah, I'll just turn straight back to them, and I'll just be like, "This is not good at all. I don't know how many. I don't know how close, but too much."
Do we
Right.
think these are the Guardians that we've been hearing about?
I don't know, but Varga certainly looks like nervous.
Nervous, okay.
On our map for the battle site,
Yep.
how far, like, it's relatively close to the river that it's, like, showing, right?
Yeah. I would say, like, you would probably expect it to be within the next mile at least.
Yeah.
And you probably smell the gunpowder now as well.
Well, how about this? Bring up Malakov's accent now. How about we keep our wits about us? We run into any more of these stragglers. Deal with it exactly as Puck just did. We'll let the orcs deal with the rest. I sure as hell don't want to get involved with that thing.
Yeah, I'll stand up and I'll draw my.
Stick to the shadows.
Go, Varga.
Sorry, I'll stand up and I'll draw my mace and kind of like already sending some of that divine energy into it, just like with the nerves and everything, just kind of ready to just get rid of anything that comes close.
Sure.
Keep moving.
Keep moving.
Yeah, hold on. I walk up to Puck, pull out my own crossbow. If you're going ahead, you'll need this.
Is it a hand crossbow?
Yes, indeed. Don't
Okay.
miss.
I'll swap with you.
Sure, yeah, that works. Man, I haven't had a low one of these things.
Hey,
Just if you need it.
as I'll turn to Puck, if you stay in the shadows, I can get them close to me, and then if you shoot, probably a bit easier for you, right?
Yes. Makes it easy to find the weak points. I think we should be cautious as we travel ahead, but I do think that at this point we should stay together.
I'm gonna focus on drawing. Then, as we travel, if we come across anything, focus on drawing things to me rather than to any, like essentially taunting.
Yeah,
I think
to
I think
me.
I sort of take up the whole. Probably not going to be very good at hiding anyway. I'm
Yeah.
probably going to walk with you
Sure.
and sort of just make it look like it's just the two of us, I guess. While maybe the rest of us who maybe can hide.
Exactly. Yeah,
Sure.
and two of us is less of a threat to whoever does spot us.
As you kind of are making these plans to, all right, like, let's move on from the spot. Again, you feel a rumble. And you smell quite quickly, maybe 30 seconds or so, the smell of black powder. And the rocks next to you rumbled. Must be quite a big explosion.
They're really trying to get past whatever they're trying to get past.
Yeah, maybe that's their attempt at the slab. Just fucking blow
I would
into
say so.
smithereens.
We should move quickly.
Yes, that's a good idea.
All right. You carry on moving towards this sound. And when it did bang as well, you saw some birds, fly up from the tops of the rocks. It seems like it's definitely causing a disturbance in the area. You travel for another 30 minutes or so before you... Go on. Just someone say something? You start noticing that the rocks become a bit more sporadic again. It looks like you're approaching a clearing yet again. And what you see in this clearing is quite an unnatural sight. It looks like in a kind of circle-ish area, there seems to be a clearing in the rocks. Some vegetation is growing around it. It's the first vegetation you've seen in a while, but it's almost like a clearing in a circular form slopes down. And as it slopes down, you see almost machines. You see makeshift drills being put together, and you can tell around this where it leads down to where used to be a slab of rock is now shattered, and it dips into a hole in the ground. You can see a couple of orcs, maybe 5 or 6, kind of looking down, kind of pulling some rope up, and there are 4 points of rope that go into the hole. Around from going back up from the hole, you see a smattering of dead bodies. You see bloodied bodies, you see decomposed bodies, and a mix of things you have seen once before that assaulted you in the rock gardens. These weird kind of palish creatures, but dead. They seem to be spread around, maybe 40 to 50. And from inside the hole, you hear calls. Oh, throw out another rope. All right, yep, we're good. It doesn't sound like panic, but it sounds like they're getting further into the ground.
Is everyone else still hidden? And
You're still on the outline of the rock trees. There's quite a bit of a distance before this slopes down into a hole in the ground. Which what looks like it used to be covered by a stone slab, but that you see big chunks of rock around.
So they have made it through.
So he says that this goes down.
Yep.
Would this be going down to like the low water level?
You could imagine it would do, yeah.
Okay, but it's not like right next to the river or anything. It's still a decent trek away.
No, you've traveled.
We're an hour away.
So from the river.
Yeah, yeah, but the river continues alongside us. So we're checking like out.
Back that way, yeah.
Okay. Well, sounds like they've gotten through. If they are being attacked by these creatures, there'll be someone on the lookout.
There are a couple
Five of
still
them,
on
I
the
imagine.
surface.
This is the 4 up the top, right?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
You know,
sorry.
one's leaning over, putting like he's got like a bundle of rope, and he just chucks the whole thing down. But there's also a rope next to him, so it looks like maybe they require more rope down there. It's quite hard to tell.
If we take out the ones on the top, we might have them trapped.
That's a fair point.
I have no reason to kill these people.
Didn't say we had to kill them. Just subdue them.
Ghosts. You can.
I mean, if you want, you can go and ask them what they're doing. I think you might get slapped.
What was that here?
Let's.
Or stick with the same lie you told before.
What did you say just before, Dale? You were cutting out.
Oh, sorry. I was just at like the one, like similar to what we just saw.
The orcs.
If Ghost can make explosions, like what the
Oh, right.
similar to what the orcs made, but smaller.
What about it?
Can you make a small explosion like that? Perhaps we make a loud bang, a noise. They come to investigate. We sneak around, and if they're going deeper into the cave, there might not be anybody. We could drop down the ropes ourselves,
I'm happy to talk to them. You guys stay behind. We still have the element of surprise. Preferably not
but I
make
don't think
enemies
they're
for
going to
people
be
who don't
happy
need
that we crashing their party. They
Well,
certainly didn't want to talk about it back at camp. I don't think they want us here now.
As we told them on the bridge, and we tell them now, Captain LaFawn sent us. The people their friends on the bridge let us through. Maybe we might be able to find a way down peacefully. Once we're down there, it looks like they're not coming down because they're needed up there.
Is there like a back entry or something, Reese, to this area? Like if we went around,
It's basically circular.
Yeah, but so there's like a path where we're coming through. How hard would it be to get around like the other side or something?
You're not on a path. You're just coming out, kind of out of the forest. You could just continue around the perimeter of this clearing.
Okay, and the whole the place that they're trying to get into is pretty much just smack dab in the middle.
Yeah, it almost like this clearing has been made for this hole.
Right. It's a big clearing. I don't know, Baggy. I don't think these are your friends. These are not people who want what's
I don't
best
want
for
them to
you.
be my friends. I just don't want people to die. That's not necessarily.
So that, by the way, the hole's about 200 feet across in diameter.
Oh, Jesus.
We don't know if they're good or bad. We don't know if they're here for bad reasons or not. I understand that they are not kind people.
Let's go over what we do know. We know that they are aligned with the Emerald Claw.
Which
Is that not good
Drake.
enough? Not really. They were being extorted by them.
Who's to say that these people aren't too?
They're working for an evil organization.
They
I
did
would have
blow their
I would
way
have
into.
Vagia, I would have killed Dre and I would have slept soundly that night.
I'm sure you would have, but good and evil is relative to the person that has to deal with it.
No.
These people.
They did blow
think
their
they're
way
doing
into
right
an
by
ancient
everyone.
tomb.
I'm sorry, but haven't most of you done things that have disregarded people's culture or anything?
Absolutely.
Just take these people on as enemies. There's a possibility that they could help us. As Dre did.
I just don't want to see you get hurt.
Well, that's my own choice.
How are you fucking making it for the rest of us?
Maybe you go and say, hello, my name I want to be friends. And while that is happening, we sneak around. There's a big hole. We could probably sneak into the hole. And then, one person being sent here by the sergeant might be a little more convincing than 5 ragtag, 2 cats and 2 short people. It's a bit strange.
What does Vargir wear?
He's essentially got like a big makeshift gown of like different sorts of leathers and fur that kind of like compact over like a kind of, again, self-made chain mail.
Does he have a cloak or anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a big like, yeah, if you fit under like the leather kind of also almost poncho like, that you could definitely hide underneath him. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You can be my swift scale then. I'll come with you. I'm going to try and climb onto your back and just like nestle in underneath the cloak. Like, it's going to be obvious from the back and the side, but from the front. But from the front, I think we might be able to get away with it.
Sure.
What the hell do you expect us to do? We can't just go walking up. How far away are we, Reese, from the edge of the hole? What these holes?
So the hole's quite big.
Yeah.
In the center, from the edge of the hole to the rock gardens, I'm going to say 60 feet.
Alright, so it's not too well.
I can hold my own until you guys get there. I'll take care of Puck. And Puck
Oh, I fucking hate this. We could just wait here and camp it out for the day and see if they come out with anything or not.
We could, but then we might be facing off with 30, 40, 50 of them.
I counted 21 this morning at best.
And as they said, they've just gotten in there. Who's to say that they want to leave now?
You're implying
there might have been some
none of them
already
will
here.
die in there.
Plus, as well, we've got the undead as well. You really want to camp out in the forest knowing that those things are running around overnight?
Hardly want to do fucking anything I've done with this group so far. But here we are. It pays good coin. Tell you what, you go for your idea. I'll just wait here and see what happens.
Goes to shit, that's on me.
Alright! I'll take that too.
Yeah,
Don't fall in the hole.
He'll kind of like, almost like stand up a little bit straighter, just so like the gown looks, it doesn't look like a hunch, it looks, you know what I mean? And yeah, I'm gonna walk out.
Okay.
I will drop my bag of holding to the ground. Usher Envy out of it.
Alright, Envy falls out of it.
We make our way sort of away from where he comes out of, so if they're looking back this way, they don't spot us.
Good call.
Alright.
Okay.
You
I'm
start
hiding this one.
rounding the perimeter of this clearing. Vargir with Puck on his back still. Yep. You walk out, and most of the orcs are occupied. They're either putting tools in a thing. One's looking over down the hole. Another is clearing some of the stone rubble around. They don't seem to notice you walk out of the forest.
Sure. I'm just gonna keep walking with purpose. And as I reach like the edge, I'm suspecting they're like, oh sorry, go on, Puck.
I was just gonna say, as like we're going there, I'm gonna like just, I don't know if you've ever had managers, but be very demanding. It'll help to sell it.
All right. As you say that, one
Steve's dying on the inside because he has had managers.
one looks up and goes, "Hey, you!" Starts walking towards you.
Looks like he finally opened it.
Stops in his tracks. Who are you? I've never seen you before.
Captain LaFawn sent us.
Oh.
Anything else?
Give me a. Are you trying to intimidate him, or intimidation or persuasion? he is taken aback by your stance of what you're saying.
Yeah,
You could go for just performance to see maybe or something to see if like you can pretend to be someone. It depends on what you want to do though.
Yeah, I think performance makes the most sense, right? Like I am pretending to be someone else that I'm not. So I guess it's like deception or performance, but I will go for performance if Reese is happy with it.
Yeah, go for performance.
Yeah. 14 plus 3, 17.
17. Kind of gives you a look, and one of the other ones had looked up, but like kind of gone back to his work now, and he goes, "I didn't realize more were coming." Well,
You don't need to know everything. You're just doing your job. Keep going.
hold on. Of course, we finally got in. Another win for the claw, he says.
Mm-hmm.
Another win for the claw.
First one's open, he follows up with. LaFons will be glad to know you're here, and he goes to turn around to look down the hole.
Sure.
Are you going to do anything?
Yeah. I'll say, wait.
He stops, turns back to you.
Waiting on a couple more people to come. They're explosive experts. Just give it a moment.
I'm going to hit my horn of silent alarm at Ghost.
Ghost, you hear a flute, as it is. It's a whistle, sorry. Come from Puck.
My heart is pounding. Holy fuck.
From where I am, can I just take a look out without trying not to be seen?
Yeah, absolutely.
And see if that, because I don't hear sounds of battle, and see if that was a come out guns blazing or
You
just
make
like
eye
a
contact with Puck, because Puck's on the back and he can look back towards you. Bagheera's facing this orc who's turned around to look down the hole, maybe they're like 5-10 feet away from the edge, and he's turned back to Bagheera. Bagheera's stopped him from doing something.
Just a calm nod.
Alright. Come on, you two. Where I wanted you. I'll just jump on Envy's back and come out riding. Just
You come
casually
out
walking down the floor.
from the woods and you see the orc stop facing the hole, and he turns around and takes in the more people coming out from the edges of the forest.
Good, you guys have arrived.
He's looking confused. I never heard anything about a group coming. Who'd you say you were again?
Does Captain LaFons tell you everything? No. Do your job. We'll do ours.
Now roll me intimidation.
Sure. That's again a 14 plus 3. 17.
17.
My heart is beating. I'm so sorry.
He gives a nod. Sure. You can find him down the bottom.
Right. As I'll turn to the rest of them. You guys brought the explosives, right? As I'm obviously looking to artificers.
You're muted. Malgo.
Of course. Solicit.
Right.
We don't really need them anymore. We've got them in.
I know. But there's more to be expected, right?
Of course.
Exactly. Again, as I said, do your job, we'll do ours.
But he continues on that sentence. He goes, of course. From what I can tell, we only need 3 out of the 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you hear a scream. Come from within the hole. You see him startle and turn back. And for the magic users, you feel a sense of arcane energy flick through the air. As you kind of look up and look past, you see appear on the other side of the hole a spell some of you may have seen in Life before, but a Misty Step, as LaFons appears at the top of the hole, sweating. As he looks around quickly, he doesn't seem to take in notice before he disappears again. And that is where we're going to end today.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Did it look like
fuck.
it looked like a misty step as he left again?
Correct.
Okay.